Welcome back to the Halloween Bonanza episode of our weekly entertainment podcast, Spitball Media. My name is John Draper. Shaheen, I am very sorry that your Phillies did not pull through last night.
Yeah, I didn't even know they lost, honestly, until my whole timeline went into crime mode. Like, I had no idea because, I don't watch it, so I had no idea. I'm clueless.
Yeah,
but yeah, I guess shout out to the Phillies, man. They always go to like the finals pretty much, and then almost to the finals and shit the bed.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the Phillies right there.
The curse of the Phillies. So I didn't even know anything about this anyway. I didn't think you were a baseball fan, Shah.
No, I've never watched baseball in my life, dude.
I tried watching baseball one season, and it was the Tigers. I tried to get into them for my uncle, and I spent the whole season watching them lose and just said I'd never fucking do it again. So,
yeah, baseball is entirely way too boring for me. It's just not something I could do ever in my life.
Mm-hmm. I just have all these memories. My dad loved baseball. He used to take us to Tiger Stadium back in the day. And all my memories are me just hoping for a mercy killing and we can get the fuck out of there and the games just drag the fuck on.
Actually, the only baseball game I've ever attended or really watched was when Joe Numbers came down to Philly. He wanted to see the Philly stadium, so we went to a Phillies game. And I was bored to death, dude. I was dying. I can't handle baseball at all. I was literally struggling, dude. I was trying to pretend like I'm interested because I felt bad. I'm like, oh, he's so hyped. He wants to see it. I'm like, dude, I'm dying.
Oh, that's amazing.
Fucking 4 hours of this shit, man. Oh, my God.
Well, it's not for everybody, baseball. It's just not for everybody. But what is for everybody is our weekly entertainment podcast. We're going to run down some top media stories, but it's a special episode, Shah, because it's not your typical week. It's technically Halloween weekend.
Yeah, it's almost Halloween. I got my Halloween decorations up and shit.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. I mean, my house is Halloween the whole year. So, nothing really changes here.
And Bisho, do you have some Halloween decorations out there?
Oh, yeah. We got a couple of small inflatables in the yard. We got some stuff hanging in the house. We got this orange plastic skull with hands that come out from the mantle and it all glows orange. And that's
Jesus.
That's my happy place at night, dude. The kids go to bed. I shut that off and I just kind of sit there and bask in the glow.
Well, happy Halloween weekend to everybody joining us on the free. We got a very special episode tonight. We're going to anchor the show around something we've been kicking around, an idea. But, of course, we want to mention that you don't get the full show. I mean, you get a full show, but you don't. Oh, look at that. Cool. Shah, what the hell is that? What is that?
Yeah, I got tons of weird shit. I got a Mexican skull. I have this skull. This is kind of girly, but I love this skull. It's got flowers and shit on there.
Look at this. That's fantastic.
It's beautiful.
I got a bunch of these ones too, New Orleans type of skulls, I guess. It's hard to show.
Wow. Well, listen, people, you're gonna get the full show, but you're gonna want to get that bonus show by going to patreon.com/Spitball Media. For just $5 a month, you're gonna get hundreds of hours of all the exclusive content. Ain't that right, Bisho Brian?
Absolutely. Original shows that we never put out to the free. The only way you can get them is, God, I don't know how many hours we have now of exclusive stuff, but going back to us trying to keep ourselves sane during the COVID times. Talking about all the crazy news stories, cigarette smoking scorpions, and apparently horses and anal.
Horses and anal. Jesus,
that was
prom.
a thing, apparently. I don't remember that at all.
I don't remember horses and anal, but there have been a lot of shows. But that's the wacky, wild, break the apocalypse days. But we're strictly entertainment now. We're strictly entertainment media. Isn't that right, Shah?
Yeah, we crossed the path, man. We crossed the path into entertainment, and I have no regrets.
None.
I don't want to talk about bombings and fucking school shootings. I don't want to talk about none of that shit.
Yeah, you're gonna get
the most depressing thing I want to talk about is the strikes. And that's that's the worst news we'll talk about.
Yeah, the strikes for sure. And Bisho, do we got anybody in the chat yet? I don't see it.
Yeah, so far we've got Slave Cheeks. What's up, Slave Cheeks? We got Mr. Isaacs. Let's see. There's someone else is in there. I don't see him now.
Oh,
but still early people rolling in. Thanks everyone for checking us out, and you're gonna want to join in for this one.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. We're definitely going to lean on you guys quite a bit. Now, Bisho, for some reason, I can only see the private chat and comments. That's kind of weird. I had this problem last. Oh, here we go. I honestly don't know what's going on. Shout out to everybody there. But go to patreon.com/break the app. I want to say something really quick. I'm not going to mention the show, because I'm not throwing it under the bus. But there's a news show that I've liked for a long time with some very famous people that's been around for, it's got a lot. So I decided maybe today to join their Patreon, right? This is a true story. So I figured their Patreon was like $5. Don't ask me why. I go to Substack because their Patreon is on Substack, and their Patreon is $8.33. And it's not even like you barely get anything for it. And the only way to get something for it, guys, is if you pay at least $10 a month. And that's not even you get everything for it. And I think the full premium package is $300 a month. And they have 29,000 subscribers. B, that's some serious. That's what, like 280, 242 grand a month or something?
Excuse me? Baking powder? $300 a month?
No, a year for the year.
Oh, I thought you said
that's a lot.
A month.
No,
like,
300 for the year. You pay up front for the year, but that's a lot for the year, man. That's absurd.
Like, I can understand. Like, there's some people that do swag giveaways. There's some people there's a true crime guy I used to listen to. It sounds like Jordan Peterson, and every week he's like, if you donate $1 a month, we'll send you personalized stickers. And I'm like, okay, at least you're giving something. But like, I couldn't understand $300 a year and just being like, oh, here's our shows. It's like, well, motherfucker, like, do that and then give extra.
You get to go on a Zoom. Shah, $300 a year for a Patreon.
Yeah, there's a lot of Patreon. I mean, the bigger shows like Joe Budden's podcast, I know they have crazy Patreon tiers. So I don't know, man. We're sticking to the $5, man. We're sticking to the $5. No
budget
$300 here.
We're the working class podcast. And by the way, you get tons of. I did a lineup with this $10 a month. Not a lot. So please consider going to patreon.com/Spitball Media. And of course, thank you to the many people who keep the lights on here. You'll be getting a special Halloween weekend bonus show out of us. Shout out to my friend Terrell T and of course my buddy Chris Matthews. We're happy to have you guys here. There's going to be a lot going on. We're going to have a good conversation. But we wanted to start out tonight. I wanted to mention over the weekend, just get this out of the way. Friday, I was off from work and I took a day off to relax, and I saw Killers of the Flower Moon. Obviously, this is the most talked about movie in theaters currently. Martin Scorsese's brilliant, epic 3-hour, 20-minute extravaganza. It's getting rave reviews, fantastic audience reviews. I'm not going to talk too much about the movie, but I did want to mention that I thought it was absolutely brilliant. It was honestly maybe the best thing the best thing De Niro has done all in the 21st century, next to maybe Silver Linings Playbook. Leonardo DiCaprio is off the charts. Lily Gladstone, the female lead, never saw her before. I may have seen her in a show called Reservation Dogs that I watched. She had a small role. She is brilliant. Shah, I know you're going to see this film. I thought of you guys the minute I walked out.
Yeah, I'm probably going to try to see it next weekend sometime. How was the pacing, though? That's what I'm curious about. Did it
flowed well?
Like 3.5 hours?
Flowed well. Kept you engaged.
Nice.
The sets, you're going to die when you see the real sets. Everything's real. There's no AI people walking around in the 1922 outfits. The clothes, the food, like the talking. I'm telling you, it's outstanding. B. O'Brien, I know you're probably anxious to see this too.
Yeah, I saw a preview the other night when I was sitting. I think my kid and my wife were watching Survivor, and the preview came on, and I'm like, I have to go see this movie. I don't care if I got to take a day off for it. It's 3 hours long, though. I have to make sure I got my colostomy bag on me just to make sure.
And a feed bag.
There you go. Oh, strap on the feed bag. Hell yeah. I'm a fat guy. That goes without saying, man.
Yeah. Well, no, it's 3.5 hours, guys. Slave Cheeks. It is kind of a date movie. And shout out to Kevco TV. He was saying theaters can fuck off at 30 minutes of previews for a 3-hour flick. He saw it at noon. I was just going to say that. I was just about to say that. He left at 4. So my movie started at 1. And I got out at 4:45. And I saw it in RPX. Yeah. And I didn't pee once, Shah. I didn't because I was so engaged. I didn't want to miss anything.
Yeah, I never pee in movie theaters. I can't recall.
Well, Shah, you don't pee in the theater. You go to the restroom to do that.
Well, you know what I mean. I don't
whip it out.
Try not to do that. I don't recall any time.
You just go in someone else's popcorn bucket when they're not looking. Is that what you do?
Yeah, he just brings a bottle.
Take a quick leak.
But I'm gonna say this. Well, shout out to my buddy Marquise. I'm going to say this. This is a controversial thing. You guys don't know I'm going to say this. I've thought about it, and I'm just going to say this now. As far as movies go, it's brilliant. But for right now, if you ask me the best film I saw all year, it is the number 2 to Oppenheimer. I think Oppenheimer is a better film. I'm dead serious. I think Oppenheimer is a better film. I that might come back to bite me on the ass down the road, but I thought about this because I was thinking, because Shah, obviously we have the Napoleon movie and we have Ferrari. These are the big biopics, and everyone's going to be talking about these 4 movies. They're going to be killing each other for everything. But as far as performances go, it's close. But Oppenheimer, I think if you guys, when you see them, you will probably agree with me theatrically. There's just something about that movie. Killers of the Flower Moon is brilliant. It doesn't take away from the movie. But yeah, Shah, I think Oppenheimer's the better movie right now.
I'm actually shocked to hear that. That's very surprising. Was it similar to Gangs of New York as far as violence and just the grittiness of the film?
I don't want to tell you. I don't want to ruin it for you guys and people, because I know a lot of people are going to see this movie. It's the violent. You got some gratuitous violence, but it's more about the history of the violence. And right. And this is a completely true story. There's nothing embellished. The Osage people helped make this an authentic film. You have people speaking Osage. De Niro is speaking Osage. DiCaprio is speaking Osage. Like ancillary characters that are not Native American are speaking it. Bisho, they meticulously made the cars, the clothes, the cigarettes. You know what I'm talking? It's one of those kind of movies, man.
That's fantastic. I know we talked about this in a different style a couple of weeks ago when we talked about VHS 85. How I was impressed with how they made it look like it was shot on VHS, like a camcorder in 1985, as opposed to some other movies that just overused day glow and cliched clothes and stuff. So that's really cool. The only thing that I was kind of disappointed by was hearing this is awesome. I know Scorsese went back and rewrote a bunch of the script because he wanted to make it more inclusive. And I'm still seeing people complain saying we want to see more uplifting stories about our heritage instead of stuff like this.
Yeah, it's a bummer. Look, guys, it's a bummer story. But like, yeah. And it's all true. I will say this, just because of the horror people on the podcast, Larry Fessenden, who is a huge indie horror maker, and I've met him at horror cons a million times. He's a New Yorker. For people who don't know, he just did Brooklyn 45. He's one of the stars of it. He did a movie called Habit that is, I think, it's just absolutely brilliant. I think he did a movie called Wendigo. He's got some good movies. He's in the film. Jack White is in the film. Sturgill Simpson, the singer, is in the film. Jason Isabel, the singer, is in the film. Pete Yorn, the singer, is in the film. It's weird. It's a weird cast. But I have to tell you, when you get done with this movie, the De Niro love is going to go to another level. It's just going to go to another level.
Did Brandon Fraser have a big part in the movie, or was it just a cameo?
It's more of a cameo, but it's an important part. And Lithgow is also in it. I don't know if you guys know Lithgow's in the movie. Lithgow's still killing. John Lithgow. Every time I see that guy, he's brilliant. Jesse Plemons, big character actor. I know him from a lot of indie movies and from Friday Night Lights. He's married to Kristen Dunst. He's fantastic. I smell Academy Award. You walk out, you get the whiff of Academy Awards, B-Show. It's like, oh, it's just going to be like this and Oppenheimer as of right now, because I think Ferrari and Napoleon are going to be in this category. But as of right now, it's a 2-horse race for supporting actor between De Niro and Downey. I just shut it down. One of them's getting it.
I know you went during the week, but was there a lot of people in there or no?
There was
really
quite a few people in it. And by the way, guys, I don't know if you saw this, but 40-something% of the gross was people under 35. Did you guys see that? It was a weird statistic. Yeah, younger people wanted to see this movie. They don't know why.
That doesn't surprise me, though, really. I feel like people are way more educated about like film and just more interested in the artsy stuff nowadays than they used to be, like 30-year-olds and so forth. You know,
it was an older crowd for me, but I went on Friday during the day. Just unreal. But I saw the long form Napoleon and Ferrari trailer in RPX, and my brain was on fire. I was like, whoa. There was something about seeing those two trailers. By the way, the new Ferrari trailer, God damn, I have to see this movie. I have to see it. I have to see it in the big screen. But I recommend everybody going to see it. See it in the theater. The opening scene shot of them, I'm not going to say too much, but you can see it in the trailer. It's them. They discover oil, and they're dancing in the oil. Only very few people could have shot that scene, man. I'm underselling it. I'm dead ass. You're gonna be like, get the fuck. The wide shots of the train pulling into Oklahoma.
That's why he's as iconic as he is, man. He's one of a kind, dude. He's
one of a kind. One of a kind. And a wonderful experience.
I hope we get at least one more movie out of him, man. I love that man.
Knock on wood.
That man.
Well, I hope he lives to be 100. He's apparently in great health, guys. So I don't know.
Well, and he answered. Someone asked him, or he saw the quote from Quentin Tarantino, where Tarantino says, "Well, you get to a certain age, and then you age out, and blah blah blah, and you got to stop." And he said something about like, I can't speak for him, but something along the lines of, I'm not going to say that for myself. So hopefully we do get some more.
Yeah, he has no intentions of stopping. So shout out to Killers of the Flower Moon. Now, guys, we do have our last round of horror picks. We're going to throw 3 picks out there. I have bomb picks. Bombs over Baghdad. Can't say bomb on an airplane. Shah, I'd like you to drop your first bomb Halloween weekend pick.
So I'm actually by my movie area. So I'm going to pick them
cool.
out here.
Showing off.
The Professor.
First one is going to be The Dentist.
You
ever seen this?
Seen that. Yeah, not in a long time.
Yeah, this is The Dentist 1 and 2. First one is much better. I like the first one a lot. It's cheesy, but it legitimately makes me feel uncomfortable just because it has a lot to do with, obviously, teeth and stuff like that.
God.
Have you seen this B-show?
No, but I can only imagine.
Never seen the Corbin Burnson, The Dentist horror movie?
Dude,
no.
So good.
It's good.
It's
pretty
so
good. He's good. He can act. He's good.
I love this film. By the way, you can buy this for like $10. It's got both movies. It's
look at that.
Cute. So
yeah, that's a cool. Yeah. What year was this shot? Do we know?
1996.
Look at that. Oh,
you son of a bitch. The second one was 98.
Oh, I didn't know there was a second one.
Yeah, the second one has like the cockroaches coming out of the mouth and
and of course, shout out to Chuck. He's like Corbin Burnson, very fun in horror movies. He is. He went from a TV heartthrob, went bald, and decided to do horror movies.
Yeah.
Wow. But, now, shots. The second one isn't as good.
Not as good. Still very entertaining, but it's not
okay.
Nearly as good
fun
as
movie. Fun movie. And it's a late 90s. It looks a little 90s there, I think, as I look at the tone and the tints.
Yeah, it's very 90-ish.
It's so 90s. It really is. Excellent pick. B-Show Brian, what's going on? What do you got there?
I got a wide gamut here, but this is one that I guess could be considered a cult classic, but I never hear anybody talk about it. I think I've heard you mention it once on a prior episode, and my neighbor actually talked to me about this. When he first found out I liked horror movies and slashers, he said there was this one movie we used to watch. We used to sing the song, and he couldn't remember what it was. And one night I sent him the clip, and he said, that was it, and it's Madman. So it's kind of a knockoff of Friday the 13th and The Burning, those backwoods movies. It's about this story about this guy, Madman Mars.
So much. Kevin Castle, huge fan.
I had a feeling he was going to pop for that. So, but no, Madman Mars. It's almost like Cropsy or like Jason. It's a legend out in the woods. You don't want to be out there, or old man Cropsy is going to get you. He's almost like a hermit mixed with Bigfoot in a way. He just creeps out of nowhere. And
is this 82, 83?
80, 81, 82. Let me find out.
Wow.
Somewhere in that vicinity.
Oh, look at him. Look at how he looks like Wolfman Jack.
81. Yep.
81.
So it's okay. It's one of those movies where if you watch it once, don't watch it for a while because it's tired.
I love it.
But it's cool. Movie. And the song at the end is so simple. Like
the greatest.
Bum, 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 bum.
It's got synthwave to it. Too. It's got
yeah, it's cool. It is cool. It's very basic, but it's cool. So definitely worth the watch, especially if you like those kind of movies. It's kind of not redundant. What's the word? Derivative of some of the other ones, but it's still really, really fun. So
I love this movie. Shah, you like this movie too, right? You've seen it.
Yeah. Vinegar Syndrome actually put it out. I don't own it, but they put it out on 4K. I've seen it.
Madman.
It's on Shutter.
Yeah, great movie. Must watch. Kevin Castle, 81, released in 82. I saw it on VHS, I think, in 83, and it scared the shit out of me. The song at the end made me very uncomfortable, Bisho.
Yeah, it's fun. I wish we could play stuff
I
on
know.
YouTube,
I wish we could play it. I want to play it.
Yeah, go
Maybe
ahead. Go to
we could use it as
YouTube and look up Madman Mars song.
An intro for the Halloween special for the Patreon. Excellent pick. Now, I'm going 2000s. I wanted to do more 2000s, and it just so happens that two of my movies are from the same year. I did not know that. But I'm going to go with my first pick. This is a movie I think I may have first saw when I rented it from Netflix in like 2007. It's very popular. It gets confused with other movies because the title is a little confusing to people. It is a Korean movie. It's a monster movie, and it is called The Host from 2007. I am a big fan of this movie because it is a amphibious creature that comes out of the water in modern day Korea and just starts eating the fuck out of people graphically, and it's played heavy. This is a very, very popular movie. Shah, you're familiar with this, right?
I am. The director, I believe it's the same director as Parasite, isn't it?
Yes, it might be.
Yeah,
yes, I think it is. Who's an Academy Award winner now.
Yeah.
The effects are great. It looks, you think you're going to think it's douchey, and Bisho, it ain't douchey. It's played very heavy.
Is this what you were hoping for when you watched The Tank? Something like this?
Yes, actually, yes. Good call. 100%. Yeah, definitely. This is a big budgeted Korean horror movie. There's a classic scene, Shah. You know that scene, what they just had the clip of the girl where it's running towards the schoolgirl? You know what I'm talking about? It's like very heavy in the trailer.
No, I've actually never seen the movie. I'm just familiar with it.
Yeah, right there. That's it coming towards her. Yeah, and I believe this is the director of the Academy Award winner, The Fantastic. What the hell was that movie called, Shah? I'm sorry, I forgot the name of it. Parasite, which I saw in theaters. It was the best movie of the year that year. You guys need to check this out. It's very, 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 very popular. What is it? What's its rating there? Bisho, what is that? A 93?
93% Rotten Tomatoes.
Jesus Christ. What else has he done, this director? It's Paris, obviously, because I think he's done some other horror.
Look at this.
Yeah, that's him, Parasite guy. Oh, yeah. Snowpiercer. Holy shit. Yeah, this guy's got some good stuff under his belt, Shah. This guy's got big movies. I couldn't watch that Aja thing because it's supposed to be like an animal rights movie. I was told I wouldn't be able to sit through it. But that's supposed to be really good. Snowpiercer is a little overrated. Memoirs of Murder, I've heard of it. I don't know if I've seen it. I might have seen it. But definitely check this out, guys. The Host is a fun horror movie. I don't know if Kevin Castle's seen it, but he likes monster movies. He would like this movie too. Watch it in Korean and in subtitles. Shah, what's your second pick? I know you got him on your hands there.
You're probably familiar with this one. It is Cannibal Man. It's an Italian movie, I believe.
Cannibal
Man.
This? No.
You know this cover. This is one of the video nasties.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Wow, look at that cover.
So let me stop sharing so you can show that. There you go.
Look, Bisho, look at that fucking cover.
Damn. Oh, there we go. Highlight that shit.
That would be, dude, if that's available in a shirt, you got to get that on a shirt.
That's awesome.
Shah, how have you not drawn that yet? Oh my God, look at his fucking, what is that, like a butcher axe?
Yeah, he's got a cleaver.
The cleaver. Look at that son of a bitch. What year is this? This looks 70s. It's a nasty, so it's.
Yeah, it's a video's nasty. It's from 1972.
Okay. Wow. It's a fucking 50-year-old movie. Jesus Christ.
It would make a great double feature with Maniac. This and Maniac would be fucking amazing to get a Maniac. I got right here too. Obviously a classic.
The OG Maniac. Well, that's a cult classic without question.
Yeah.
A must watch. Shah, how is the film?
I like it. It's pretty fucking gross. It's very sleazy. So if you like those like sleazy exploitation movies from the 70s.
Italian? Is it
lots
Italian?
Of tits, lots of murder and abduction. It's very similar.
Now, Shah, this is 72, so the boobs look a little different, like Stewie Griffin pointed out. Like he said, yeah. I don't know, 60s boobs were just different. 70s boobs are different too.
The main difference between this and Maniac is that obviously he eats them. He's a cannibal. So.
Oh, hence the cleaver.
Yeah. And this is actually, not to spoil it, this is an actual scene from the movie. Like, they show this. The guy's face getting split in half with a cleaver.
Wow.
And it looks good. It looks good in the movie. So,
well, that sounds like something to worth checking out. It seems like a rarity, though. Like, you got to own you have to have the physical media for that.
No, I think this is probably on Shudder.
You think it's on Shudder? Okay.
Yeah, it's a pretty big movie.
Is it known under a different title? Because
No,
a lot of these Italian movies, like, that's the translation.
No, this is just Cannibal Man.
Cannibal Man.
Guess what it's on, guys?
I'm a Cannibal Man. I'm Italian. Tubi's got it.
I mean, yeah, Tubi. That's what I meant.
Well, a lot of people will be checking out Cannibal Man tonight, and Chris Matthews loves the Metallica shirt. Shah loves it, and he loves the host. Wow, B-Show Brian, what's your number 2 with a bullet?
This one we've probably, I've talked about this a long, long time ago, and I know your brother Mike really likes this movie. I'm curious to see if Kev does too. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't. It's a movie from 1980 that not many people I know, 1982, not many people I know have seen. It's called The Black Room.
Oh, this is a Necromaniac's big movie.
Yes. When I was just getting into horror movies. My brother got me this. It's called The Taste of Horror. I think you can only get it on eBay now, but it's got all these like oddball screwball movies from like back in the day. And this one was on it. So I checked it out. And basically this hemophiliac and his sister rent out a room to people who want to like commit adultery and stuff and have fun and live their fantasies. And they abduct them and they drain their blood. And then this guy who's trying to make up with his wife gets caught in the middle. It's really fun.
Yeah.
Really fun.
Is this an American movie?
I think so.
Okay.
Let me find out.
Yeah, I remember Necromaniacs talking about this a long time ago, actually. They might have done an episode on it for sure.
Yeah, US.
Shah, you've heard of this, right?
I think I may have heard of it. I've never seen it, though.
Okay. Yeah. Where is this available, B?
I don't think you can stream it anywhere.
Wow.
Like,
I have to watch it. You got to watch it online.
I think you can watch the whole thing on YouTube for free. Someone put it up a while ago. It's
okay.
really, I mean, it doesn't look that great anyway. Oh, Kevin's never heard of it. Holy shit.
Yeah, my brother Mike's a big fan of this one.
And I think Mike has the Taste of Horror DVD set too.
I think he might. Yeah, he'll let us know for sure.
Yeah.
But,
so if you can get
by the way,
your hands on that.
Necromaniacs is doing their Halloween bonanza, so everybody's got to check that out. But we'll mention that at the end of the show.
I was gonna say, if you get your hands on that box set, definitely check it out. There's a lot of cool stuff on there, and this one is on YouTube if you want to watch it in very, very bad quality.
Wow, I can imagine the quality. But wow, these are hot picks. I have another 2007 movie that I also rented from Netflix. This was when we were getting Netflix in the mail, and I was just going off on horror movies. This is a very, very good film with an okay sequel, but the original, to me, there's something about this movie I think is really fantastic. I think if it had better acting, because the plot is fantastic. It is 2007's Stakeland. Many, many people are big enthusiasts of Stakeland. I don't see a lot of people talking about Stakeland 2, but Stakeland is absolutely fucking brilliant. I love Stakeland. I believe, this 2007. Shah, you familiar with Stakeland?
Not at all. I don't even think I've ever heard of this.
It's a dystopian future movie where vampires basically run almost like the way a zombie movie would be, but about vampires. And it's like these guys are going through like town to town trying to survive. One of them is a more prolific killer. It is great. I highly, highly recommend this movie. I didn't like the second one very much. I don't know if there was a third one. I felt like it kind of fell off. No, there's only 2. Same principal actor in it. Not very good on the acting. Larry Fessenden is in it. Look at that.
Danielle Harris is in this movie?
Yeah, B-Show, this is a fucking big movie, man. People are into this motherfucker. People are into Stakeland.
Marianne Hagen too. Okay.
And that bald guy looks very familiar. Very, very, very familiar.
This guy?
Yeah, this guy. Oh, yeah. This guy's in big movies, man. This guy's in TV shows and big movies. This guy's great. Yeah, this guy's been on Fringe. He's a mind hunter, Fringe. This guy's creepy as fuck. I think he's a singer in Broadway, actually. He's a Tony Award winner. I was right. Yeah. Shah, you've never seen it? Never heard of it?
No, never even heard of it. No.
How about you, B-Show?
No. In fact, when you said Stakeland, I was thinking steak like it's a movie about cannibals that like feed people other people.
No, this is very, very good. I really like it. It's very popular. Bisho, could you see what the reviews are for? I just want to see what I bet it's in the 70s or something.
Yeah.
People like Steakland. It's
I'm
got
not
3 out of
seeing
5. Oh,
I'm not seeing anything for like Google or Rotten Tomatoes.
Interesting. 6.4. Okay. Yeah, the acting's not the best. That's the thing that hurts it for me. But the plot, love it. And could you just pull up the director? I just want to see what else he's done. If he ever went on to bigger and better, because it is from like 2007.
There's 3, but let's check them.
3 directors. Jim Mickle. Oh, Cold in July. That's a fucking great movie. Sweet Tooth. This dude does Sweet Tooth. Mulberry Street. Yes. The independent movie Mulberry Street, which is fucking fantastic. It's about people that get infected by rats in New York. Oh, this guy's great. I love this dude. Damn. Okay. Well, and this villains. Wow, there's some good shit in here. Guys, check out Steakland. I can't recommend the second one. I didn't think it was that good, but that's my pick. Shah, what's your third pick going to be for the peeps?
My third one is a complete 80s cheese fest. It's if you like practical effects, and this is fairly unknown. A lot of people are familiar with Maniac Cop. This is similar, but it's not Maniac Cop. It's called Scanner Cop.
I've heard of Scanner Cop, but I've never seen it.
So Scanner Cop and Scanner Cop 2.
Oh my God!
And both of these movies. This is also available from Vinegar Syndrome. So, look how 80s this is.
Oh, this is brilliant.
Straight up 80s.
What is the plot of Scanner Cop?
Basically a mutated cop that goes batshit crazy and goes on a murder spree. But it's I don't want to spoil it. It's a super fucking cool movie though. There's this part. Yeah, click on that one picture at the top. He has like mini heads growing out of his head.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, the practical effects are super cool, man. That's actually the cover. That's what it looks like there.
Okay, and have you seen Scanner Cop 2?
No, I haven't seen the second one. I've only seen the first one.
Okay, Scanner Cop. Wow, that looks like a
let's
fun
check out
watch.
that cover again. What do you got there?
Yeah, hold that cover up. Oh, that's nice. Brilliant.
The spine. It's got the Vinegar Syndrome naked lady.
Oh yeah, their logo. They love their porn. Look at that, Scanner Cop 2.
Bro, I love their packaging. Look at this, like a fucking work of art, man. Look at this shit.
It is nice looking. That's why that shit is not cheap. That's why.
Oh no, this is like $70.
Oh, good. You could have been in Scanner Cop for $70.
The amount of money I spent on movies would disgust you, man. It's foul.
That's all you. I spend that money on edibles and bourbon, but I think we all come out winners in the end. Excellent pick. I would totally want to watch that. Is it American or is it like one of these dubbed movies?
I think it's American.
American. Okay. Bisho, your third and final pick.
All right. So I went old school. I know I went way, way back a long time ago when I picked the Mystery of the Wax Museum. I didn't go back that far. But this one is, I guess, a popular original old movie. But it's not one I hear a lot of people talk about. And it's fun. I like going back and watching some of the fun ones, even if they're dated. I went with Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the original.
The black and
white.
Okay, not the remake in the 70s, which is also brilliant.
No. This one's really like I'm
really
always
good.
surprised when I watch these old movies how much I like them. Because as dated as they are, it's a different style. There's just something magical about the way that they shoot and frame and pace these old movies.
Yeah.
It's kind of basic, but it's really cool. And the premise is these doppelgangers of people start showing up and this guy's trying to figure out what's going on. And then like these aliens are essentially like planting these cocoons of people. So like pods. Yeah. So if you've ever watched like there's a Looney Tunes episode version of this and from like the mid 90s, it's a similar premise, but, this guy's trying to like unravel the mystery and tell people what he knows and no one believes him. And then he realizes, oh my God, like he finds one where they're trying to what's it called?
1956 B show.
Yeah. Trying to assimilate him. Like he discovers his own in
like
mid transformation. So there's a lot of cool shit in this movie. If you like some
are you a fan of the 70s one with Donald Pleasance? It's really good. It's so fucking good, man.
Donald Sutherland or Donald Pleasance?
I apologize. Donald Pleasance would have been good in that. That would have been interesting.
No, it's Sutherland. It's Sutherland.
Sutherland, yeah. That's Sutherland. Shah, you're a big fan of the 70s one? It's fucking great.
I have the 70s one. I don't have the original. This is the one I have.
Amazing ending. The ending is the whole movie, but the tension in the streets. Oh, when they're in the streets trying to not show emotion. Oh, this movie that genuinely scared me, B-Show, as a child. The 70s one. The 50s one isn't as scary, but it has intenseness to it because everybody's so heavy, right? Like everybody's like, so serious.
Yeah, you got like these people in black and white just sitting there smoking in an old office, waiting for the cops to show up, and the cops aren't showing up, and it's like, wait, did they get to the cops?
The cops and then do they have the thing in that movie with the phone where they're already captured by the aliens and they're talking to them on the phone?
Yes,
and
yes.
Like, the line is dead. Why is the line dead? Oh, it's the best. It's the fucking best.
So yeah, man, there's a lot of cool shit if you go back to the 50s. So go check it out, Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. And I'll tell you right now, the 70s one is off the charts, maybe in top 20. If I have a top 20, it's in there. The 70s
Look at that.
one.
98%. Oh, I didn't have it shared. 98% Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, yeah, it's a brilliant horror film. It really is a brilliant horror film. My last pick, B-Show, I hope you've heard of this because this is right up your alley. Shah might be familiar with it. This is from I think 2011. No, the host is from 2011. This is actually from 2007. Excuse me. Stakeland is 2007. The host is 2007, I believe. Well, we'll see in a minute. This is Kevin Castle's right. The 90s one of Invasion of Body Snatchers is not bad at all, but I still think the 70s one is just on another level, probably because of the style and the acting. This is a movie that is unique in every way. It is based on the premise that the movie serial killers, the Freddys, the Jasons, the Michael Myers, are real. They exist in our world and they are in our culture. This is a movie called Beyond. I think it's called Beyond. The actual title is called Beyond the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. B-Show, are you familiar with this? This is completely up your alley.
No.
You've never heard of this?
No. I've seen the pictures of the killer. I've never seen the movie.
Yeah. If anybody has seen this one, it's almost like a reality movie about, it's a serial killer, like a first person almost serial killer. But all of the movie killers are real. You see him as a real person. He's giving interviews. He's hanging out with other killers. He's friends with. It's not supposed to be funny. 2006, very trendy, cool, different movie. Love this movie. Can't believe they didn't make more of them. Shah, have you ever seen Behind the Mask?
No, I've never even heard of this. No, actually, yeah, I have. No, I'm lying. Yeah, I have. Now that I see the mask, yeah.
Yeah, The Mask is great.
I might actually own this. I think I got it from Scream Factory.
Yeah, it's really good. Digital Lizard saying it's good. Shout out to him. Kevco TV said, literally heard about this for the first time on another podcast today. Sounds awesome. It's really that good. Castle's into it. My brother Mike turned me on to this movie. B-Show, the cool thing about this is it's acceptable that these people exist and that there's women. Like, he's friends with a guy who was a serial killer who married his final girl. But it's played heavy.
Whoa.
It's like, people love this fucking movie. I mean, Robert Englund is in it. The Mask is brilliant. The guy who plays Leslie Vernon is great. Developmental Hell uncovers the lost sequel. Yeah, it never made a sequel.
Wow.
B-Show, this was right up your fucking alley. I mean,
Where's it playing?
That I do not know. Maybe Apple. Who's got it?
YouTube.
Wow. What's the reviews on this? Apple's got it for pay.
Rotten Tomatoes 76, 75% on Google, 6.7 out of 10 on IMDb.
Yeah. Shah, I think you'd like this movie, man. It's just got a cool vibe to it. You know what I mean? It's very modern.
Yeah, I just looked. I don't have this one. I have Valentine and My Bloody Valentine. Those two I always get mixed up with this one.
Yeah. And it's like you think and he's gonna start killing people, but like most of the movie is him as a regular dude talking about being a killer, talking about having a good cardio to chase the women. Guys, it's really, really good. It doesn't take itself too seriously. This guy's great. This guy was fucking great. I don't know. Did they actually, the sequel, I don't know, ever really came out? Is that what they're saying there, B-Show?
Yeah, it said it's been stuck in development hell for a while.
Unreal.
It was planned.
Yeah, very popular movie. People really liked it because now they do mention all the movie killers. They mention them. Like there's a guy very casually talking about Jason and then Freddy. And then I was talking to Mike the other day, talking about Michael Myers. And Zelda Rubinstein is in this, guys, from Poltergeist.
Kane Hodder. I thought I saw a picture of Robert Englund too.
Yeah, he's in it. Yeah. And Kevin Castle points out he literally talks about his workout regimen to chase victims. Like, it's great. Like, yeah, Bisho, you would really enjoy this. I think you guys would enjoy it because it looks good too. It's got a lot of style to it, honestly. And I would love for that sequel to come out. I would be all over it. Do we know what else the director's done? And did he ever move on to bigger and better? I always feel like these guys could. Kane Hodder's in it too. Wow. You don't see Jason or Freddy. They can't do that, obviously, but they're mentioned quite a bit. No, it doesn't look like he ever moved on to anything. Damn shame. But we gave you guys some solid-ass picks. And, of course, we'll be doing for the Patreon. We'll go right to the classics. We'll be bringing up all the classics over the weekend. I think we'll do it on Sunday evening. So you guys will have it for Halloween. But, definitely worth checking out. Very fun movies and very different movies. So hopefully you guys can check them out as well. So we wanted to get right into this. We're gonna ask everybody in the chat to put their 2 cents in. Lately, there's been a lot of discussion about horror franchise properties, right? Since we've had the rebirth of Saw, the rebirth of Scream in the last couple of years, the rebirth of The Exorcist, and so on and so on and so on. But if you're talking about core horror properties, what's the Mount Rushmore of these properties? I think inarguably, hopefully you guys will agree, the inarguable top 4 Mount Rushmore of the horror franchises. Overall, we're talking every movie in a collection. So we count movies that have at least 3. 2 don't make it. 3 will make it as a real franchise. Of course, Halloween, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Would you agree, Shah? Those are probably unequivocally the 4 Mount Rushmore of horror, of all, like, of sequels and such.
I think the only other 2 that are debatable that you could switch one of those out with is possibly Scream and the Chucky series.
Child's Play. I absolutely agree, because especially the rebirth of Child's Play with the TV show, which is a super success.
Like, for me personally, like, Hellraiser would be my Mount Rushmore, but it hasn't done enough.
We're going to get to that as well, because that's a different, yeah.
But it hasn't done enough. So it's, yeah, I would agree those. I might move Texas Chainsaw out, though, and put Chucky in there. I feel like Chucky overall is more popular than Texas Chainsaw.
But Chainsaw goes back 50 years. Like Chucky, like Chainsaw really is, it's a 50-year-old movie, and it is so iconic. And by the way, Leatherface has had a huge resurgence. The fucking video game.
Largely, the first movie is praised. The rest of them, except for like the 2006 one or whatever it was,
people like the second one.
Has been hated.
People like the second one. People didn't hate the rebirth one.
The second one is split though, man. A lot of people hate the second one.
Emmanuel, shout out to him. He's saying Psycho. Bisho, would you think? What is your Mount Rushmore? Because I feel like that's pretty. I could accept a Child's Play for sure because of the popularity of Chucky, but I go back all the way back to the 70s with Chainsaw.
If we were talking about this in 1993, I'd say Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Child's Play, and Halloween. Those would be the top 4.
No Chainsaw for you?
No. I would have to say modern day, like taking everything into account, like success and appeal and box office and impact, I'd probably replace Chucky with either Saw or Scream.
Yeah.
Because those two franchises,
by the way, there's no wrong
immense.
answers here. But I just think in terms of, if there was a Mount Rushmore and you put 4 horror faces on there, I feel like those are the 4 faces. I really do. I think because they have the history. And above and beyond all of them, Chainsaw is considered by auteurs one of the most epic independent films of all time. It is like you have the most famous directors in the world talking about how groundbreaking it is. And Shah, they just don't talk like that about any of these other movies.
Yeah, I mean, the first 4 that I was becoming familiarized with when I went to England back in like 93 or 92 or whatever it was Hellraiser, Texas Chainsaw. Ironically enough, Freddy and Jason. I wasn't familiar with Michael Myers.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the only reason I knew them was because there was toys and statues of them everywhere in the toy stores, So
yeah. Now, by the way, you have to think about the Aliens franchise. You have to think about the Romero zombie movies. You have to think about Saw. You have to think about Scream. You have to think about Hellraiser. Emmanuel is bringing up Psycho. There's a lot of these movies. Okay, there's quite a few of them. But if you take the body of every one of them that has multiple sequels and such. By the way, there's people that love Hatchet and what's that rest stop movie that people
Tremors.
Tremors, probably.
Jeepers Creepers.
Godzilla is a horror franchise. I mean,
Dude,
but that's kind of crazy.
Horror.
The Amityville Horror has got about 8 movies, maybe more.
The Omen, how many does Omen have? 4? 3?
More than that. No, yeah, because they redid the Omen too. So there was 2, and then the Final Conflict, and then the reboot. So 4. Exorcist has maybe 6 now with the reboot. Chainsaw. Halloween has 3 different multiverses at this point, right? I mean, Chainsaw has a few multiverses.
3 or 4, depending on how you look at it. Yeah.
3 or 4. So what I wanted to put to you guys and people in the chat, well, Manuel's even saying Jurassic Park. That's a little bit more mainstream. And Chris Matthews is mentioning Halloween, Hellraiser, Nightmare, and Friday. So if we say all these properties, right, including the modern day ones, if someone was to ask you, who do you think, if you take every one of them and line them in a row, at the end of the day, what is maybe the top or the top several that you think stand out above all of the rest in terms of their full bodies of work? Because as we know, most of these movies, by the way, you can throw Jaws in there, actually. Most of these movies, the more they make, Bisho, as you know, the worse they generally get, honestly. But that has not been the case for many of these franchises. And I don't mean box office. I mean in terms of the quality. If you're going to have to buy a box set of every one of these, and, or if you had to watch every one of them in a row. I know it's a difficult thing to figure out because there's really there's a lot riding on this. But what is the creme de la creme? Even the top 2 or 3 that you think, as far as I know, if I added up every one of the preceding movies, this holds up as a fucking franchise. It's very difficult to think about because there's a lot of modern ones, and some of the older ones have shitty fucking follow-ups, right, Shah? I mean, a lot of these movies suffer from very shitty follow-up movies.
No, I agree. What do we doing? Our personal favorites?
Yeah, well, yeah. If you had to, could you name 3 possibly that were miles above as franchises that you think stand the test of time and are superior? You know what I mean? Versus other franchises, it's very difficult to do. Because, for example, I think the first Hellraiser is absolutely brilliant, and I like the second one. But by the third one, I could kind of feel the wheels coming off, and they never really came back on for me. Ever. They just never did. There's a lot of franchises like that. Bisho, I'm sure for you, an unequivocal answer is going to probably be Halloween, right? I mean, overall.
No.
Friday.
No.
Friday?
Look, I got the face on the wall.
Look at that.
I'm as big. Yeah, my wife did that by hand, actually.
That's amazing. By the way, that's fucking amazing. You and Shah have the coolest setups. I have old man setup. But go ahead.
As much as it pains me to say that, you said 3 different continuities because they couldn't follow it up. It got its ass handed to it by Friday the 13th. I honestly would say, I don't know if this is the best franchise, but I think Friday the 13th has a more solid franchise than Halloween does. I mean, if you look at the early Halloween movies and exclude the new ones, because I know the new ones were big, they're divisive, but they were successful, and a lot of people like some of them. You have Halloween. Halloween 2 is okay. I mean, let's say what it is. It's okay. It's a follow-up. Yeah. Halloween 3 people hated, and now it's finally getting, the anthology.
25 years later, everybody likes it. Yeah.
Yeah. Halloween 4 was passable, but
that's
honestly,
is that the Curse? Halloween 4?
No, Return.
Return. Okay.
And it's got some good kills. I watched it last night while I was working. It's passable. So it's very hard to find a franchise where after episode 3 or 4, it's more than passable. You mentioned Hellraiser. Once you get to 3, it's tired. It departs after 4. Child's Play, the first 2 are good. Bride of Chucky's good. Other than that, they're okay. Anya Stanley, who writes for Fangoria and some independent pieces too. Her and I talked about Friday the 13th and the Child's Play franchise a while back. She brought one up that we haven't talked about that I don't think it has the commercial appeal. So I don't know if I'd put it up as number 1 in terms of that. But can you guys say there was a bad entry in the Evil Dead franchise?
I think that's an excellent thing to bring up for sure. That's what kicked this off. Somebody said if you line them up, Evil Dead is the superior franchise above all of its predecessors. What do you say to that, Shah? Because obviously that holds water only maybe because it actually has less films and it goes in a few different. It's now gone in 3 different directions. But if you think about it, Evil Dead is probably vastly superior as a property than most of these other properties.
See, the problem with me is most of those movies, they are in different, like, there's so much space and gaps in between that they feel like completely different identities. Like, I don't compare the original Exorcist to the TV show and whatever else they did in the 2000s and currently. Like, it's hard for me to say that's like a series, because it's so different.
Well, just so you know, the TV show takes place in the lineage of the first movie, and now the new movie. It's one, yeah, and
but
the
still,
second.
There's such a large gap of years in between that it just doesn't feel the same. It just has almost like Halloween. Like Halloween, the first 7 or 8 or whatever it was, they go hand in hand. And then once they gave it to Rob Zombie, I was just like, what? Like, what are we doing? Right. What the fuck?
But don't you think Evil Dead, even on paper, when you think of the first 3, and then the reboot, and now the new reboot, it's not a bad entry in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue that. But then again, though, I look at Evil Dead, like the last 2 movies, they go hand in hand. Army of Darkness is a comedy. Like, that's its own thing. And Evil Dead 1 and 2 kind of go hand in hand. But
well, 2 was walking the line with the comedy there. Dead by, you could see they were getting a little silly in 2.
Well, and plus to that point, sorry, go ahead, Shah.
No, I was just saying, by Army of Darkness, though, I view that movie as more of a comedy with horror spliced in. Or versus, Evil Dead, the first one, I would consider that a horror movie with a tiny bit of silliness and cheesiness, spliced into the movie. But I don't know. I just think the evolution of Evil Dead is very interesting because it started out as something completely different than what we're dealing with today, which naturally
in a lot of ways. Yeah. But what were you going to say there, B?
The more you talk about it and the more that I think about it, I don't know if you can count Evil Dead because the first and second movie are essentially the same movie. The second movie is a remake of the first one because they didn't have the rights to the first one.
Well, not really. Yeah,
it is.
Really, though. I mean,
it
kind of picks up though.
Well, no, it is. It's the same movie with some stuff added to it. I mean, they show some backstory to the original, but it's pretty much the same movie.
but it has all new shit in it, and it sets up the third movie, which they couldn't have gone from 1 to 3. That could not have worked. It could not have worked.
That's true. They did add that.
Yeah, no chance. They needed 2 to get the 3. That's a solid point. Another thing that is fascinating is, Friday the 13th. If you take out maybe Jason Goes to Manhattan, right? At the time when Freddy was going full comedy, right? And they didn't know what to do with Michael Myers. Friday the 13th, I do feel consistently is one of those better franchises. I really believe that. I feel that because I like a lot of the sequels. I don't like Jason X. I'm one of the few people that doesn't like Jason X. And I hate Jason Takes Manhattan. I hate that movie. I absolutely hate it because it was not shot here. And it was shot here for like 8 seconds. It was very dumb. I hate that shit. But another thing somebody pointed out, which is interesting to me because I know it's very popular. You guys might like it more than me. Jeepers Creepers. Now, look, we have to put a little mulligan in there. I'm talking about the film. Let's take the guy out of it who directed it and all that, because there's people who worked on that movie who have nothing to do with any of that. And, but or Shah brought up Tremors. People really like Tremors. They're not bad movies, right? They're kind of good movies.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's other ones, but I mean, we've mentioned all the main ones. Of course, there's, Urban Legend, and you can even go to, I don't
think there's been more than 2 of those.
No, there's 3. I have them right here.
Is there 3?
Yeah, there's 3, and then I Know What You Did Last Summer did 3 of them, I think.
A couple. They rebooted it and all that stuff.
Yeah, Species.
Shah, Shah, why don't we break it down like this? What's the best vintage franchise for you and the best modern franchise? How about we do that? That could be kind of easy.
Yeah.
And if anybody wants them in the chat, I know Chris Matthews brought up Ash vs. Evil Dead was good. We got to throw that in the TV show. Emmanuel Rojas, yeah, Universal Studios you can, but it's a very long time ago. You know what I mean?
Plus, those movies weren't connected until they did like Elvis Costello meets the Wolfman.
Elvis Costello meets Wolfman would have been very different than Abbott and Costello B show.
Who did I say?
You said Elvis Costello, the singer, meets the Wolfman. I met the Wolfman.
Frankenstein is a friend of mine.
Get Frankenstein on the radio. So if we had to pick one vintage and one modern, as far as the overall, Chris Matthews is going vintage Friday the 13th. Gotta admit, I think that's mine. I do. Above Halloween, above Nightmare. I'm not a big Nightmare guy. I love the first one. I love the second one. But then I just checked out. And Scream. Definitely an arguable mention there for modern for Scream. You know, I have maybe a different one that no one's going to have. I'm going to save because I think I'm going to get yelled at. B, what's your vintage? What's your vintage?
Vintage. Let me bring one up that we haven't talked about either that isn't as commercially recognizable. But I streamed and binged the whole series about 6 months ago. There's not a bad entry in the series. I just lost it. Jesus Christ. The Tall Man. What's it called?
Oh, Phantasm. Great fucking pick.
There's not a bad fucking.
There's no bad Phantasms. There's no bad Phantasms. Chris Matthews picks are Friday the 13th and then modern Scream.
And to that point, I'd have to agree because
Freddy, I don't know.
Yeah, like 1 and 2. Dream Warriors is good, but I think it's overrated. 4 is even overrated. Okay.
It's okay.
And then Wes Craven's New Nightmare is pretty good.
Yeah, I like
Other than that, like Freddy's Dead is a fucking joke. That movie sucks donkey dick, dude. Friday the 13th, the first 4 are great. The 5th one gets hate, but it's still good for what it is.
I like
the 6th one. They bring him back. Watch that movie in black and white. It's fucking beautiful.
How can you watch it in black and white?
Oh, just turn off the color on your TV.
Oh, I don't really.
Yeah,
you can still do that on a fucking like 4K TV. Make it black and white.
Just go to the picture options and like desaturate or whatever. Yeah.
What an odd thing.
It's awesome. He shot it. I'm trying to remember his name. Tom McLaughlin.
Mm-hmm.
He shot it so that you could watch it in black and white and it would look like an old, like not Hammer, but old Universal Monster movie.
Right.
And it does. It's really good. But like 1 through 6, good entries. 7, Manhattan. And then even the remake is good, even though I think people give it shit.
Okay.
But
remake's okay. Wow.
So I'd have to say Friday.
And you're going Scream on the modern?
I have to, because Saw is the other one for me that people talk about, or Paranormal Activity. I think Paranormal Activity is kind of weak. I didn't like Insidious. And
me neither.
Saw has way too many bad entries for me to even count. So I'd have to go Scream.
Saw, you're saying Saw is almost like Halloween?
Yeah, there's almost too many bad entries.
Nightmare, like Nightmare.
Nightmare, yeah, because like
Nightmare. I'm about to say Nightmare.
But you get to 4, it's so Deus Ex Machina with every reveal just fucking ham-fisted in there. It's like okay. But yeah, Scream. I think first 2. The first one's good. I started out hating Scream too. By the way, for me to say this,
me too. I kind of fell back. I kind of backed into it. You know, Shah, what's your vintage and what's your modern?
Man, I'm gonna have to agree with Friday. Simply just because I think they don't have to try as hard. I think with the other movies, there was too much of a story. There was too much they were going against that made them fail. You know what I mean? The creativity had to be there. Whereas, with Jason, you just have a bunch of teenagers going camping. Something happens. He kills a bunch of people, show tits, and it's a good movie. People enjoy it, And I think that formula worked for Friday. Whereas, Halloween, it was more plot based, and Freddy had a lot to carry because there was a surrealist aspect to the whole Freddy, the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, which I liked. They don't age that well if you watch them now.
They really don't.
Yeah, the special effects in those aren't great. But with Jason, I hated Manhattan, and I hated Jason X. I don't need him going to space. I hated The Mask. I didn't like that one, but the remake I actually like a lot, and surprisingly, I like Freddy versus Jason a lot.
Really,
I do. I like that movie. I saw that.
It works, but I don't know. It works. It kind of works, right? He's got good kills.
No, it's so fucking bad.
It kind of works because it gives you. I mean, you see them. I mean, that's the thing. At the end, it's kind of like when King Kong finally fights Godzilla. You just want to see them fight, honestly. Right?
Yeah, I don't know. I liked it. I haven't seen it since the time I saw it at the theater. So it's been probably like 15, 20 years, however long it's been. But as far as modern, I would have to say the Evil Dead, man. I mean, the last 2, they've been really fucking good. I mean, the last one was all right. But, The
But
2013
the remake, yeah,
one,
the remake.
yeah, the 2013 one was phenomenal, and I like the world that they've created. It's very gritty. It's a bloodbath every fucking movie. It's very dark. You know, it's the complete opposite of what the original Evil Dead was, which is what I appreciate. They didn't try to replicate what they did in the 80s. You know, they turned it up and they made it into something completely different. So I'm gonna say Evil Dead as far as the new one.
Well, I'm saying Friday the 13th because I stumble onto them on cable and they captivate me, especially the older ones. I think the first few are so good. I'm a fan. I'm just a bigger fan. Modern for me, this is tricky because none of these movies were in theaters, but I feel like with the most recent entry being so solid, and I've enjoyed the majority of them quite a bit for the 21st century, I'm going with the VHS series. I'm telling you, Bisho, if you watch the first one or two, they're just mind-numbingly good, right? I mean, they have really only one stinker overall in the bunch at this point. That's my pick. I just like that world. I think they found ways. I'm curious to see if they're going to do more. If they don't, I'm good with how they ended it because it's fucking brilliant. And it's probably going to be on my list of best horror films of the year. I mean, honestly, Shah, you're a big fan of the series too. I feel like that delivers pretty much almost all the time.
Yeah, I actually didn't even think of that. But yeah, you're right. But they've actually announced the next one already. The next one is supposed to be in space. So all of it is found footage stuff. That's sci-fi.
Oh my God.
Which is going to be crazy.
It could be ape shit crazy.
It could be so good and so bad.
Oh, so bad. Yeah,
dude,
so
that's
bad.
Going to be so good.
Yeah, that's my picks. Now I want to ask you guys a very important question. It could be modern and it also could be vintage. Most overrated franchises of the horror genre. Now, these could start out with the first one being maybe one of the best horror films of all time, but they eventually, every one of them goes off the cliff. I have one in particular that is going to sound shocking, but once you hear me say it, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, with my vintage one. And I can tell you what that is. It's Jaws. Because the downward spiral of Jaws to start at the highest of high of filmmaking and fall to the lowest of absolute dog shit. Absolute dog shit movies. The second one is okay. Everything after that is almost you can't believe they're real. That's how bad they are.
Which
one is that, Shah?
This is a knockoff. It's an Italian knockoff.
Cruel Jaws?
Yo, it is so fucking bad. You won't believe how bad this is.
We have to watch that on a show.
And they actually released it in Italy as Jaws 5, and then they got sued.
Of course they did. Marquise Johns is saying that's Hellraiser for him. Vintage is Jaws for Chris Matthews. Jaws 3D, Marquise brings up. It's just, I saw that in theaters. I went and saw it in a movie theater. Modern Saw. Oh, interesting. That's what he thinks is the most overrated. My most modern overrated for me is probably going to be Paranormal Activity. I think it started out great. No need to revisit it. Second one was okay. Then I saw the third one. I was like, I'm just bored. I think there's been 4. Yeah. Oh, Cruel Jaws. Everybody wants to watch Cruel Jaws. Those are my overrated picks. Bisho, do you have your overrated vintage and overrated modern?
Yeah, I could tell you my overrated modern real quick, and that'd be Saw for sure. I got to agree with Chris Matthews. First one was really cool. Second one was okay. And by the time Mark Wahlberg or Donnie Wahlberg or whatever fucking Chet Wahlberg is beats the shit out of Saw to get his kid back, like,
yeah,
I'm like, fuck yeah. Like, it was like a wrestling match. Like, kick his fucking ass, dude. Break his fingers. And then, like, at the very end, his kid was there the whole time. And if he'd just not done that, like, that was awesome.
Well, that's a Saw. You know,
yes. But the way they pulled that off, it was like you want him to do it so bad, and then you're like, fuck.
Oh, Chris Matthews said I almost said Blair Witch. I don't know if I saw the third one. That's why I kind of left it off. Emmanuel Rojas, Final Destination for modern. Interesting because they start out great. They start out fucking brilliant. Very well, people and Chainsaw for Emmanuel Rojas for vintage. Bisho, do you have a vintage? You have a vintage?
Vintage, maybe Chucky.
Interesting.
Because the first 2 are good, the capitalism thing, and
you didn't like Bride of Chucky and all that stuff in the comic?
Bride of Chucky was good.
I think it's overrated.
Seed of Chucky's maybe that one ruins it for me. Seed of Chucky is fucking garbage.
That's just
I got to say, maybe it has better entries than Texas Chainsaw. So maybe I'd have to say Texas Chainsaw just because it takes a dive.
Okay.
Or that or Hellraiser. Texas Chainsaw. No, you know what? Hellraiser, because the first two were good and the rest, like anything New Line New Line picked up, they honest to God had movies that they had option screenplays that they paid for. And they would say, what do we do with this movie? We can't make it. Oh, let's attach it to Hellraiser because we own that property. Unreal. So they had nothing to do with Hellraiser, and they were terrible, uninspired. So I got to change it on the fly. Hellraiser for modern. Or
Shah, what do you got vintage and what do you got modern overrated?
Well, I'm actually gonna switch my answer for my modern from Evil Dead to Pearl and X because we got Maxine coming out, so this is gonna be a trilogy.
That's the best. What about overrated?
I haven't seen Maxine, but I already know, man. There's nothing gonna be better than this.
Oh yeah, wow, those look fantastic, by the way. What's your most overrated vintage horror property and overrated modern horror property?
Overrated, I would probably say Halloween, just because I really like the first three, and then ever since then it just kind of like dives down for me. There's not much left. Overrated as far as new, I would say Insidious, just because it's so overhyped, or anything from the Conjuring universe.
Oh, great answer.
That whole thing is awful. And also, I'm gonna switch my answer from Friday to Reanimator, because Reanimator, Bride of Reanimator, and we got Beyond Reanimator.
That's right, I forgot Beyond.
I fucking love these three.
Great entries.
I love these movies. Like, these are some of my favorite horror movies. So.
Oh, the first one is off the charts. Off the fucking charts good. It's just fucking perfect. Second one's okay. I don't remember the third one. I just don't remember it. But something's like echoing there. But yeah. Is that your phone? Yeah, your phone's going out.
We're shooting VHS 8 as you guys listen.
VHS 8. So we're gonna wrap it up. We're gonna give some stuff over to the Patreon in a little bit. Do a little mini show there, and then of course, if you're on the Patreon, you'll be getting your Halloween bonus show. The three of us are going to be talking about. I'm going to ask Bisho and Shah about their Halloween traditions, what they look forward to for Halloween, what their must-watch films are over the Halloween holiday. And of course, I'll throw my 2 cents in there for that as well. But right now we want to get to the pluggy plugs because that's how we wrap up every show that we do here. We're going to plug Deathmatch Outlaws, the Drew Yari Experience, Cassette Classics 86 on YouTube, the Down Under Thundercast, and of course, Don Tony. Necromaniacs Podcast is doing their Halloween episode. I think it drops today, possibly tomorrow. You have to check that out. I'm going to be listening to that actually probably tomorrow at 5 o'clock if it's available. The Inhuman Experience Podcast, and of course, the return of Ringsiders is coming back this fall. So I'll let you guys know about that. Mojo and Dirk's Most Dastardly Show, and of course, the Garden of Doom. And then we have the Old Guy Metalcast, and of course, our good friend Ronald Anderson's brilliant clothesline, funkbetty.com. So please go to funkbetty.com. Check out some of the new designs there. Shout out to our good friend. And of course, we have MJW Games, Cherry Jesus on YouTube, and of course, his album's out from his band Kaiser. You're going to want to be checking that out. Sam, the Red River Podcast, he's doing some Halloween stuff over at his Red River Podcast and his band Plain Dead, putting out song after song, video after video. The Bayou Geeks, that's our good brother, Fatty 316, and the High Marks Podcast. Midnight's Mass Creature Cast, and of course, the Weekly Detour with Anthony Allison and his pal Teddy, and the Guns and Geeks Podcast. Shah, any Halloween specials on the old Planet Mondo?
Shah dropped off. I think he had technology. Yeah, I'm just going to stick with VHS 8. I'll just stick with VHS 8.
Yeah, he was doing it from his phone because his modem shit the bed. B-Show, anything on the B-Show Brian channel?
No, probably not till after the first of the year. I'm working through a mountain of shit, and then I want to get cracking. Got some cool stuff that keeps coming to me. The old David Lynch, make sure you always go fishing type of thing, where shit just comes to you when you daydream. So check it out, bshowbrian.com.
And of course, Travis Swift brought up your Necromaniac shirt.
Oh yeah, here, let me grab it because I think you were reading.
Oh yeah,
there you go.
That is such a great shirt. I got a little too big for the medium. I could still wear some mediums, but not that. I don't look that good in it.
They don't have any extra mediums.
Extra medium. Extra medium, dude. Call this episode "Extra Medium," please.
Okay,
it's just a great line. It's just too good. But thank you guys for hanging out on the chat. Shout out to Travis Swift. I just see him in there. And of course, everybody for putting in their 2 cents. We hope you guys have a wonderful holiday weekend with the holiday. Of course, it's Halloween on Tuesday, but we'll see you next week on Spitball Media on the free. And have a happy Halloween.
See you guys.